Hi there, I'm Stephanie Mann at safekidsnow.com, and I've been a crime and violence prevention specialist for 35 years, and I want to broaden the discussion beyond gun control. The need for young people to have guns is a direct result of the breakdown in the family and in the community. We are today in a perfect storm for violent behavior. And I might mention that we have 300 million guns in circulation, 50% divorce rate, 1 in 4 women are now in abusive relationships, our kids are taking drugs, they are dropping out of school, they are bullying each other, and children are becoming victims of bullies. And generally speaking, this breakdown within the family and the community is what is fueling the need for guns. So I want to talk today about the question we should all be asking ourselves in every single community, and that is, how can we strengthen families so that children are centered, spiritually centered, and understand what that means, and they have neighborhood and community support. So I'd like to draw your attention. Well, let me mention too, back in the early 70s, we, a small group of citizens, we had about 10 citizens in our community, and we had no local police department. And what we decided to do was organize and work together as a community to reduce our own crime problem, which we did. We reduced our crime 48% within 2.5 years without a local police department. And as a result, we wrote this book, Alternative to Fear, Guidelines for Safer Neighborhood, which helped launch the National Neighborhood Watch program. Now, that was about citizens taking responsibility. We didn't call it Neighborhood Watch at that time. We called it Neighborhood Responsibility Program. And today, that community was just voted by Forbes magazine as the second most friendly city in the United States. So, how did we get from having a crime wave in 1969 and the early 70s into being the second most friendly city in the United States? Well, number one, we have to look at the bigger picture here. As a crime and violence prevention consultant, I have seen the many myths up here, the myths that have kept cities locked into crime and violence. I'll give you just one myth, that most people, when they have crime in their city, they do exactly the wrong thing. They lock up behind closed doors, they don't report to the police, and crime goes up. Well, instead of doing that, people have to start reaching out and connecting with each other. The national average is 2.5 police officers for every 1,000 citizens. That means that you, in your community, in your neighborhood, have to take responsibility for the safety of your neighborhood. Here's another idea, another strategy that you might consider, because every single community should be looking at how do we strengthen our families. Form a task force. That's what we did. We formed a task force of 8 to 10 people. That's not many people. We turned the whole community of 17,500 people around. So you can do that too. And get the movers and shakers involved, meaning the people that aren't going to just talk about the problem, but actually get out and promote it in the community, talk to people, get them involved. For example, we need to have, say, all the firemen and the police officers and the city workers being the models for community by getting their neighbors together and bringing back that sense of community. Children have to have a sense of community if they're going to stay safe. And then the city leaders, your church leaders, are critical for getting the community back in a spiritual understanding of themselves. We need our children to understand what's happening and how they can make their lives so they can reach their own potential. So we need our church leaders to get involved. They are also the city leaders. And what happens is when children become centered, they become, with support, you will see that they change their behavior. Now, I want to show you, this is the spiritually centered child is in the middle. They can handle all kinds of problems. They can handle the fact that they're being bullied. They don't put up with it. They speak up when there's a problem. But the bully, he's coming out of some of these homes angry as a little hornet, and he's bullying his classmates, and he's picking on the other children that are weak. They're modeling the behavior they see at home. We have a domestic violence problem in this country, and we have child abuse problems. So these are off-centered kids. We need the responsible citizens to get back in charge so that they can help the community become stronger and strengthen families. So, with centered kids, with support, you're going to have safer children. Now, 300 million guns in circulation, they won't feel the need for 300,000, I mean 300 million. There are 300 million guns in circulation. So they're not going to feel the need to have a gun if you make your community safer. Anybody can do this, and if you want more information, go to www.safekidsnow.com, and we will turn our communities around. Together, we can do that.